The quarterback situation for your Pittsburgh Steelers has been a touchy one all off season so far in 2024. We're going to break that down a little bit more. Why did some think that the release of center Mason Cole wasn't earth-shattering news? I'm here to tell you it was a giant deal. What about a former Pitt Panther wanting to make a return and finish his career as a Pittsburgh Steeler? And let's talk about some of the heavy cap hits that some of these players hold for your Steelers heading into 2024. Welcome back to Mic Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's dive into all this stuff and really break down what's going on in the world of the Pittsburgh Steelers here on a Monday. And I welcome you back, and I appreciate you for stopping through after we took the weekend off to recharge our batteries. But we are back here today with our daily upload. Also, don't forget tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Mic Drop Sports, our live show, as we talk all things Steelers and NFL. And you won't want to miss that. And I appreciate you guys turning on that notification bell and stopping through. Let's dive into the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they have going on right now. Again, that quarterback situation has been a touchy one all off season. But let's start off with the Mason Cole release. Yes, some thought that it wasn't a huge deal because he sucked. He sucked all of 2023. But the Steelers had high hopes for a guy like Mason Cole. Many liked him. Many thought that he had the intangibles to be successful and be that next guy inside of that Steelers center position to really make a splash in the NFL. Well, it didn't pan out. The Steelers were able to release him, save some cap money, but now they find themselves in a position where they have to go out and get one of these centers. There are some free agent guys. Tyron Smith from the Cowboys, Mike O'Neill, new from the Pats. There's several guys out there. Just on my list right here, there's several free agents that could make a fit for your Pittsburgh Steelers. But if you're the Steelers, I suggest you go out and get one of these young guys to build off of in the draft, and maybe one of these guys falls to them. Maybe they get a Jackson Powers Johnson, a Zach Frazier, the kid from Georgia. There's options available in the draft and in free agency, and I think the Steelers have really made a statement when they release Mason Cole that they are going to be major players inside of the center free agency market and in the draft. That the Steelers are really aiming to rebuild that position and bring back that mystique, that quality play. Because the center, guys, is like the quarterback of the offensive line and is the second most important position on the offense, if you ask me. And I know, again, a lot of people said that it wasn't a giant deal. But this is more of a big deal than most people give it credit for. The center position is so important, and it really matters, man. And if you have a bad center, it starts every play off in the wrong direction and really gets your offense behind the eight ball early and often on every offensive snap. And when you're developing a guy like Kenny Pickett, let's say that, you can't have bad snaps constantly. You can't have your young quarterback trying to overcome poor center play. It doesn't work. You need a quality guy there. You need a guy that's able to step up and be that leader on the offensive line. And without quality center play, you are just asking for trouble, and you're never going to be able to be an elite offense until you have a quality center. That's why people don't let them go once they get a quality guy at center. You don't see them typically hit the free agent market. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have a long lineage of quality centers throughout the years, and the Pittsburgh Steelers know what it takes to be good at center, and I think they're going to be able to find that guy this year here in the 2024 offseason. But I don't want it to go unnoticed that it is a monster deal, and that losing Mason Cole to a release was good news for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it means a hell of a lot. And if you don't correct that deficiency quickly in free agency, in the draft somewhere, really quick, you could be asking for real trouble in 2024, especially for your quarterback. Let's keep moving on. What about a former Pittsburgh college guy, a former Pitt Panther, Damar Hamlin, a guy that didn't get to see the field a lot last year, but he is a guy that was recovering from a tragic event that happened in Cincinnati on that carpet in prime time in the NFL. On prime time, and he had a sudden cardiac arrest, and he was able to overcome that and make a return to the NFL in 2023. What are your thoughts on that? Would you guys consider bringing a guy in like Damar Hamlin as a backup type player? Would that be a good move? A guy that said it's on his bucket list to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, to finish his career in his hometown. A hometown kid that's probably played a decade's worth of football inside of Acrisure Stadium or Heinz Field, just being in that environment with Pitt, with playing in high school and championship games and things of that nature. So he's been in that environment. He's been on that field. He's very, very, very familiar with the Pittsburgh area. So what would you guys think about that? Put that in the comments. It was just something that I had seen randomly on the internet, that he had said that at a signing that he would really, really love to finish his career as a Steeler, and that it is a bucket list type thing for him. Let's talk about that quarterback position. When we were talking about the center spot, I told you that the center is so important, but if you don't have the right quarterback center combination, your offense stalls immediately, guys. And that center being good, not making your quarterback dance around, not causing disruption initially at every start of every play, that's a positive. But when you're trying to cultivate a young quarterback like Kenny Pickett, you got to be careful, and you got to make sure that you have the right center in place. But that has been a touchy situation throughout this offseason, is the quarterback spot. So if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you're looking at quarterbacks, do you look at the draft? Maybe. They put too much stock into those combine numbers, so let's not hope that somebody really catches their eyes at the combine and all of a sudden now they're the main target. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers scouting department needs to do their due diligence and look at the game tape. That's where you really find out whether somebody is a ball player, somebody can get it done or not, is through their play on the field, not at the scouting combine. But I wanted to talk about this quarterback position for one reason. Steelers have been linked to several quarterbacks throughout this offseason, one being Justin Fields, but I want to totally say that rumor I think is completely dead. And I thought it was dead before because I like Mason Rudolph better than a guy like Justin Fields, but Justin Fields is now linked to the Raiders and linked to the Falcons, and supposedly there are deals already in place that whenever they are able to pull the trigger, that trigger could be pulled rather quickly, and Justin Fields could be on his way to being a Raider or to being a Falcon. In Atlanta is his home state. He grew up there. He played high school football there. So that could be a big time spot for him. Plus, he may just... the Raiders, I don't think, would be a good fit. I think the Atlanta Falcons would probably be a better fit for him, but it doesn't really matter. I don't really care. All I know is the Pittsburgh Steelers don't seem to be in the ball game anymore, and I really am thankful for that because I think it would have been a mistake. But I want you guys to also put in there what you think about that rumor possibly being put to bed. Make sure you comment about that also. But let's talk too about this Steelers quarterback position in free agency and in the draft. Who do you get, guys? Who are you looking to aim for? I'm going to pick Mason Rudolph. Even if the Steelers spent $10 to $15 million a year on a quarterback, with the increase of the salary cap now to $255 million, it's okay if the Steelers do that because they have to have a quality plan B, guys. They have to. And if they don't, they're asking for real trouble just going into the season with a guy that's injury prone and hasn't developed in the way that they have wanted him to so far entering his third season. Also, guys, let's move on and let's talk about some of the things that may plague the Steelers as they move forward. Yes, they increased the salary cap, but now you look at guys like TJ Watt that are going to be like $30-some million in cap hit. Where do the Steelers turn with those guys? Are they going to be able to restructure those contracts? You have Cam Hayward, Minkah Fitzpatrick, several guys that are due big money. So, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, what do you do there? And I think that they are going to be able to restructure. And I think with the amount of money that's on the table for those guys, I think the Steelers could free up some massive cap space. You could be looking at a Pittsburgh Steelers team that has 40 to 50 million, maybe even more in available cap space by the time they are done restructuring and releasing players. And when I say restructure, I mean they are kicking money down the road. They are adding years. They are redoing people's contracts in order to free up available cap space for the 2024 free agency period. And that's what they're doing. It's not that this money will disappear. It'll be paid at one point. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are redoing some contracts. I can guarantee it. And you're going to start to see some news here shortly about all these things happening as they free up money. And I think this week you're going to see more releases. I think you're going to see some more player movement for the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of releases, in terms of freeing up some cap space. So I just wanted to bring that up and let you know there are some big cap hits. There are some available ways in order to free up some of this money, and the Pittsburgh Steelers could be big players in the free agency market. They could use that to re-sign some of their own players, extend players, do some things on their home front. Also, they could go out and get some new guys, get some new players. Slot receiver, cornerback, inside linebacker help has to be a priority. There are things that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be able to do that they might not have been able to do without this increase in salary cap space, and we'll see how much they're able to free up in restructures. But I think this team could have a hefty amount of money, and teams might want, or players might really want to come play here once they see what kind of roster the Pittsburgh Steelers are starting to build here ahead of the 2024 season. And what about that draft? What if you pick up a big name corner, a big shining star to team up with Joey Porter Jr.? Your defense could all of a sudden become a whole lot better, especially with guys like TJ Watt already in place, Minka Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward. I think if you added another stud corner and fixed that inside linebacker room, I think you could be looking at a top 5 defense in 2024. Also, if you're able to grab one of these free agent centers or one in the draft, and maybe get another quarterback in place besides Kenny Pickett, you could be looking at another step up for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024 on the offensive side of the football also. So there's big things happening, guys. So make sure that you keep tuning in here to Mike Drop Sports. I just wanted to touch base on all these things as we start off into Monday here ahead of this big week for your Pittsburgh Steelers. The Combine starts Thursday, so we're going to start covering that a little bit as we move forward. But don't forget our live show tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the channel, and you won't want to miss that as we dissect Steelers news, NFL news, and just much, much more. We're going to just dive into a ton of things. So make sure you join us tonight here on the channel live as we kick things off with our weekly live shows and our daily uploads every day. So make sure you turn on your notification bell so you know when those live shows hit and you know when our daily uploads hit every morning. At some time during the morning, you'll catch our downloads. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. So guys, we're going to get off here. We're going to wrap this up, but I wanted to say thank you again. This is Monday morning. We're kicking things off. We're just getting the conversation started for the week. So we wanted to bring up some topics, get your brains moving a little bit, thinking about the Pittsburgh Steelers as we head into the 2024 offseason and free agency draft, all that kind of stuff. So we are moving forward in a big way, and it should be an exciting week surrounding the NFL and your Pittsburgh Steelers. So until next time, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.